Welcome to the very first episode of Elim Fellowship's brand new podcast. Our podcast is called The Well, an Elim Fellowship Leadership Podcast. And that name is pretty intentional, isn't it?
Yeah, so we wanted to speak to the leaders of Elim. The hope is, as the Elim Fellowship Leadership Podcast, that this will go out and be a resource to equip leaders to effectively lead in their churches and their ministries, no matter where it is.
Yeah, we have frontline leaders everywhere across the globe and the United States, obviously, as well.
And this idea of calling it the well, we batted around a lot of different names and ideas. But, with OASIS, and there was this same message all year long, I think, that has been coming up, that this idea of opening the well, so returning to the well. So, that there's just so much of a wealth of just godliness and teaching that we have here. And we just wanted a place where we could not only tell the stories, not only get the sermons out there, but have the interviews to, just have one place where we could just share with everybody, what God's doing with some of these great leaders that we have here.
Yeah, we're more than just leaders, but we are a group of people who are leading out on the front lines. But there's a deep well at Elim Fellowship, and I'm excited this podcast is going to be able to help promote and celebrate that uniqueness. So we have a lot of things coming up with this podcast, and Thomas has been working in the back scenes, getting a lot of this work done.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to help a lot with the editing and producing of this first season that we're coming out with. And what we are coming out with is all of the content from OASIS 2025. I'm talking main sessions, I'm talking breakout rooms, workshops. It's all going to be here on The Well.
And I'm really excited about it. Oh, we had fun. Thomas and I did the after show, an after party called 10 More Minutes. Well, this was Doug's idea. It's like, when you get a sermon ready, sometimes you have to cut some things that are just gold. So that's where we sat down with the leaders and said, if you had 10 more minutes, what would you say? And that was just fun. But
it was so much fun, just not only to hear the messages that came out of OASIS, to hear from Pastor Phil, Brother Johansson, our new friend Sean Smith, Josh Finley, Eric Peoples, all of these incredible people, but then to get to sit down with them and hear more of their heart behind it.
And how they came up with the message. And I think that's the heart of what we want. We not only want to bring you the messages, if you're coming to a regional event and you said, how do I get a hold of that? This is where it will be. Or if you missed the regional event, this is where it will be. But not only that, what are the stories behind the missionaries that are going out, behind the international leaders that are coming in, sharing the message of the heart? What are the stories of the great men and women that God has called to Elim? So we're going to hear the Elim story through all this.
And we have the main sessions, and then we're going to be producing the workshops as well. They're all going to be released. And this is going to be so good for us as a fellowship because we've had main sessions before. We've had workshops. We have these things going on. But what we haven't been able to do is to take all of that great content, all that great messaging, and use that to be able to promote Elim itself. And so the podcast is going to be able to help get our voice out. And so you might be asking, well, why are we releasing all the OASIS stuff through a podcast? It's so that we can help get the word of who Elim is and the richness of our message and the depth that all of our leaders and teachers have out there from one place that we can access all that. And it's going to go out in podcast. You're not going to have to pay for it, but we are going to have you subscribe to it so that you can keep kind of plugged into what we're doing.
And share, tell people, and you guys, if you have a message, so-and-so needs to hear this. That is exactly why we want to do that, to share the story of Elim, the message of Elim.
Yeah. I'm so excited that this podcast is coming to fruition because this is going to be a space for the voice of Elim to be heard.
Yep.
Not just for the voices of us here at the fellowship to be able to all be in one spot, but for you to be able to take that and share it with people and say, this is Elim. This is my community. These are my people. So we're really, really excited that this is going to be coming to fruition.
Yeah, and it's not just the OASIS conference or maybe just some of our other conferences, but we're going to be working on other content as well that goes beyond our conferences.
We're going to build a studio, have studio times, have interviews, get out to the field, So make sure that you like, subscribe. It's going to be wherever you get your podcast. We're going to have links on social media and updates on the website. We're looking to integrate the website with all of this. So we're gonna serve it to you guys, but do help us with that, with sharing and spreading the word.
Yeah, it's going to be super easy to share a podcast versus having a recording that maybe only you would be able to look at. So this is something that you can share with people in your church or people that you work with, or just someone that you know, another pastor somewhere. They don't even have to be connected to Elim. You can share something that you heard Paul Johansson say or Pastor Phil McNeil, and that's really the heart behind what we're trying to do.
And even just speaking to this first season with the OASIS conference, I know I was blessed by the messages that were at OASIS. I know both of these guys were.
They're awesome.
We're really excited for you to be able to take those messages and maybe share it with somebody who wasn't at OASIS. Or maybe if you were at OASIS, you'll be able to be blessed by this too. It's all going to be right here. We're so excited to see how God is going to move through this new format of a podcast for Elim Fellowship.
And there's going to be bonuses. Doug's going to do some stand-up comedy. He's going to do juggling. It'll be great. That's not his regret. So I'm going.
However, we're really excited about getting this started. Tell us about the date when the first episodes are going to drop.
The first episodes from the OASIS conference are going to be dropping this Wednesday. So it's coming up fast and we don't want you to miss this. We're really excited. We've been working, I have been working very, very hard to get all of this content out to you guys. So this Wednesday, the first episodes are going to drop. So subscribe to our channels, like it, follow, do whatever you need to do. Make sure that you don't miss this because you're not going to want to miss this.